Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here. I got another Master Duel video for you, and it's finally time for our combo guide for Fiendsmith Azamina Snake Eye. I've been doing a lot of research and practicing in order to get ready for this video, so that way I could give you all the most quality combo guide that I could in a at least somewhat timely manner. Now, there's a lot of different ways that you can combo off with this deck, and when it comes to which end board is best to make, they all kind of have their own pros and cons, but I've selected a few different end boards that I think are kind of the best balance of that pros versus cons. A few of them I've kind of cooked up myself, but a couple of them are actually from a very helpful video I found by Keishan, which has one I'm going to link in the description below. This can be the top link there. So a couple of lines that I'm going to be showing you are ones that are I found from that video, but a lot of the other ones, especially the Azamina lines with stuff like Deception, are stuff that I kind of cooked up myself after watching a bunch of different videos about the deck and then also playing as well. It's a deck with a lot of starters. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and honestly even the OSSs with any normal summonable hand trap is 15, 16. We have 16 starters, and they have very easy requirements as far as what else you need to combo off with them. But why don't we go ahead and just start getting straight into it here. Okay, so for our first combo, I'm going to show you what you can do if you open Diabellstar the Black Witch or Wanted Secret of Sinful Spoils in order to search. Let's go ahead and just activate the Wanted here and pretend that's the card we opened. This combo will require a couple of other things. It will require you to have a card to send with the Diabellstar to special, and then a monster to tribute with Deception later. We're going to special summon our Diabellstar, and I'm just going to pitch that Deception there. I'll end up setting a Deception, but we're just going to pretend we didn't open Deception here. Alright, so once you special summon Diabellstar, you'll want to set Deception of the Sinful Spoils, which you'll then activate. Now this is where your other monster that is needed in order to combo comes in. We'll tribute that other monster in order to add the Hallowed Azamina off of Deception of the Sinful Spoils. From here, we can activate our Hallowed Azamina effect. We're going to reveal Azamina Mu Rakielago, sending the Deception in order to special summon. Rakielago's effect will activate. We're going to want to add the original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye from our deck to our hand. Alright, now we don't want to use the graveyard effect of Hallowed Azamina just yet. What I want to do first is actually summon IP Masquerena, linking my Diabellstar and my Rakielago. I really like doing it this way. This is, I think, one of the more efficient ways to get the most out of your cards, because now, when you're activating Hallowed Azamina, you're not putting a body on board back into the extra deck, you're putting one in graveyard that you already got some use out of, right? Now from there we can activate Hallowed Azamina once again. This time we're going to summon Azamina Illa Sylvia. I'll send that original Sinful Spoils that we just added and special summon right over here. And now we have our Omni Negate set up, and it's only been 4 summons. So now we are in nib-proof territory. From here we'll get to activate our original Sinful Spoils, because on top of setting all this up within 4 summons, we also haven't used our normal summon yet. So we're going to add Snake Eye Ash from deck to hand, which we will then end up normal summoning. Snake Eye Ash effect is going to activate here. We'll add Snake Eye's Poplar from our deck to our hand. Of course, we'll activate the Poplar effect in order to special summon. Now, Poplar effect is going to add the Temple. From here, we'll activate Temple. Temple effect will place a face-up Diabellstar, Snake Eye's Diabellstar specifically, from our deck into our spell trap zone. We can activate Snake Eye's Ash, and we can send Snake Eye's Diabellstar, because we're going to put it back with Poplar's effect here in a moment. We'll go for Oak. Oak's effect will of course activate in order to grab Snake Eye Ash and special summon to our field. Now let's turn our Poplar into Link Rebo here. I'm mostly doing this right now just to, once again, as I touched on before, get our Snake Eyes Diabellstar into the spell trap zone. We'll put that right there, and that is looking pretty good. Now, let's see, yeah, we'll go ahead and activate the Snake Eyes Diabellstar effect now, putting the Poplar in the spell trap. This Poplar is what we're going to send with Oak in order to summon our Flamberge. But before we actually do that, I want to make some room first. So I'm going to go into our Fiendsmith stuff. We'll use Engraver and Snake Eyes Diabellstar to make Moon of the Closed Heaven, which we can then, of course, link into our Fiendsmith's Requiem. From there, we'll activate the Requiem effect, tributing it in order to special summon Engraver from our deck. Alright, now at this point, we can summon the Fiendsmith sequence using the Engraver and the Snake Eye Ash. And let's go ahead and just activate the Oak now. Again, we've cleared our board, so once we summon more bodies with Flamberge, we'll, well, actually have room for them. But before that, of course, we're going to activate our Fiendsmith's sequence. Let's special summon Lacrima. I'm going to put back our Moon of the Closed Heaven, as well as Fiendsmith's Requiem. Now we can activate the Lacrima effect, and we're going to target the Engraver, but we're actually not going to special summon it. You're going to click no here, because then that'll let it add to our hand. This is a way of doing a little bit of deck thinning here, because we're going to discard Engraver in order to add Tract, and then we're going to, of course, activate Fiendsmith's Tract, and we're going to add, and then discard Lurie. We'll, of course, get to activate the Fabled Lurie effect, and then special summon to our field. And this is pretty much the same as having the Engraver out anyway, because we're just going to link this off. But, again, this thins our deck a little bit, which is nice. Now, we're going to want to make our Promethean Princess bestow our flames using Sequence as 2 materials, and then we're going to do the... Actually, I'm thinking here for just one moment. I almost did that out of sequence. We actually need to go for Appaloosa first. Glad I thought about that. We're going to use Flamberge, Lurie, and then IP Masquerada as 2 materials. This will let us activate the Flamberge effect. The Lacrima we're definitely going to leave alone because we're going to use that to make a rank 6. Alright, now we go for Promethean Princess. We're going to use Sequence as 2 materials. We'll use one of the cards that Flamberge brought back in order to make Prom Princess. We're going to activate our Promethean Princess effect in order to summon back the Flamberge. And we can activate Flamberge's effect in order to take our IP in our graveyard and place it into the spell trap zone. Now, in order to make us unfire-locked, we're going to link off our Promethean Princess as well as Snake Eye Ash. And this will let us get Salamangreat Raging Phoenix. And again, we are no longer fire-locked, so we're going to special summon our Engraver. We haven't used that effect yet. We could put back Lurie, but I'm actually going to go ahead and just put back the Sequence. Because again, we got the Lurie out of the deck for, well, deck thinning anyway, right? So... Alright, and then finally, we're going to use our 2 level 6 monsters, Lacrima and Engraver, in order to summon the rank 6 DDD Wave High King Caesar. And that is going to be the turn 1 end board for opening with Diabellstar or Wanted. Again, this is not the only board that you could potentially end on, but I like this one. I like having a 3 material Appaloosa. Some of the other boards only end on 2. We always end on Illa Sylvia for the Omni Negate. I really like ending on the Wave High King Caesar because it represents not just 1 but 2 summon effect negates. And some boards will try to go for Fiendsmith's Desiree instead, but you have to give up a lot of materials to be able to do that. And I don't think that the Desiree negate is that much better than the Wave High King Caesar negate when it comes to an end board like this. So I like having this, and we also get the Raging Phoenix, which is a pretty good pop target for the Promethean Princess, also set up there. But That is, of course, far from the only board that we can set up. Let's take a look at the next combo line. Okay, so the next combo line I'm going to show you is if we start with Deception of the Sinful Spoils. This is a 3 of, much like Diabellstar, so this is another pretty common opening hand that you're going to see. Well, not this one exactly. You know what I mean. Anyway, let's get into it. We'll start by activating Deception. This will, similar to the Diabellstar line, require you to have one monster to tribute for the Deception, as well as the card to send off the Diabellstar. Now, my search target, Hallowed Azamina, is already in my hand, but if it weren't, I would activate Deception's effect, tributing a monster from hand in order to add the Hallowed Azamina from deck to hand. Again, already opened it, so we're going to skip that step, but note that we would give up one of our hand traps here. I'd give up Maxi, and just have Ash Blossom for their Maxi or Fuelos. We'd have one less monster, but that's fine. Anyway, Hallowed Azamina is going to be what we activate next. We're going to summon our Rekiolago again, sending, of course, the Deception on our field to the graveyard. Now, this time with Rekiolago, once we activate to add a Sinful Spoils card, we are going to want to add Wanted. This will let us, of course, access our Diabellstar. Activating the Wanted, adding Diabellstar. We can then activate Diabellstar's effect, sending a card from our hand to the graveyard in order to special summon. And then, of course, Diabellstar gets to set a Sinful Spoils card to the field. You're going to want to set original Sinful Spoils to get it in rotation. Now, once again, we're not going to activate our graveyard effect of Hallowed Azamina just yet. You first want to link off your Rekiolago and Diabellstar into IP Masquerena. Alright, well, now we can activate the Hallowed Azamina graveyard effect, putting back the Rekiolago in our graveyard in order to add it back to hand. And now we can activate Hallowed Azamina, and this time, of course, we're going to summon Sylvia again, sending our face-down original Sinful Spoils to the graveyard in order to summon. And once again, our Sylvia, the Omni Negate, is online as our 4th summon before Nibiru comes down. Now from here, the combo line is going to play out pretty much the same way it did last time. We're going to activate our original Sinful Spoils graveyard effect, putting back our Diabellstar in order to add the Snake Eyes Ash from deck to hand, because once again, we still have not normal summoned yet. We can normal summon our Snake Eye Ash, activate the effect to add, naturally, the Poplar from deck to hand. Poplar's effect activates. We special summon onto the field, activate the on-field effect. So let us add the Temple. We'll activate Divine Temple of the Snake Eye. Place card face up, yes. We'll place up the Snake Eyes Diabellstar from our deck. We can then activate Snake Eye Ash, sending itself and the Snake Eyes Diabellstar to summon Oak from our deck. Oak's effect will then activate. We're going to grab the Ash, summon it back to the field, yes. Alright, we're going to then link off Poplar for Link Kribo. Remember, we're doing this so we can activate Poplar's effect in order to put the Diabellstar, Snake Eyes Diabellstar, back from our graveyard into the Spell Trap Zone. And again, we need to have that Poplar in the Spell Trap Zone for Oak to send for Flamberge, so we'll do that now, activating the Snake Eyes Diabellstar effect to summon. At this point, your board is full. We're going to need to make some space. This is where we go into the Fiendsmith package. Link Kribo and Snake Eyes Diabellstar get linked off for Moon of the Closed Heaven. After that, we're going to link off Moon of the Closed Heaven for Fiendsmith Requiem. Fiendsmith's Requiem effect will activate, tributing itself. And we get to special summon Engraver. Alright, now from here we go for Sequence using Engraver and Ash. And we can activate Oak at this point. You can activate it a little bit later too, but I just like to do it now. No particular reason. Like, you could do it after you activate the Sequence effect, but we'll go for Lacrima, fusing Moon of the Closed Heaven and Fiendsmith's Requiem. Naturally, I want to keep Engraver in the graveyard. That way we can activate the Lacrima effect. And once again, we are not going to special summon. We're going to click no and actually add the Engraver back to our hand. That'll let us activate Engraver's hand effect, discarding it in order to add Fiendsmith's Tract from deck to hand. Do a little bit of deck thinning here. We're going to activate Tract in order to add Fabled Lurry from deck to hand. And then we'll discard. Fabled Lurry effect gets to activate. And from there, we are going to link summon into our Appaloosa using Snake Eyes Flamberge Dragon, Fabled Lurry, and IP Masquerena as 2 materials. This will be a 3 material Appaloosa. This will also, of course, activate the Snake Eyes Flamberge Dragon effect, summoning back 2 of our Snake Eyes monsters. Now we can go into the Promethean Princess using Sequence as 2 materials and one of our Snake Eyes monsters brought back from Flamberge. Promethean Princess will be bringing back the Flamberge. That way we can, once Flamberge is summoned, activate the on-field effect in order to take the IP Masquerena in our graveyard and put it in the spell trap. Now, in order to unfirelock us, we're going to use Promethean Princess and the remaining Snake Eyes monster brought back off Flamberge in order to make Raging Phoenix. This will also free up space in order to summon the Engraver from the graveyard. We'll put back the Sequence. And then we can overlay our Lacrima plus our Engraver for our DDD Wave High King Caesar. So like I said, the combo line for opening Deception is very similar to opening Wanted or Diabellstar. It's mostly those first few beginning steps that you're going to do in a very slightly different order. But as you can see, it gets you the same end board of multiple monster negates, an Omni negate, multiple summon negates, of course Flamberge for IP, the extra body of Raging Phoenix, which you can pop with Promethean Princess, etc, etc. You could also link it off too if you wanted, but any number of things. Alright, now that we've seen some of the more common openings, let's see a few of the more niche ones. Okay, so it's time to show you what the Fiendsmith engine is capable of. If you open Fiendsmith Engraver, this is the combo line that you can do. Again, we have Diabellstar as well, but we'll pretend that she isn't there, and we'll just activate the Fiendsmith Engraver effect. This will let us add Fiendsmith's Tract from deck to hand, which we can then activate in order to add Fabled Lurry from deck to hand, and then discard Fabled Lurry. Of course, this will activate the Fabled Lurry effect to special summon itself, which we can then link into Fiendsmith's Requiem. Okay, we'll use the Requiem effect in order to tribute itself, and summon our second Engraver from the deck. Alright, at this point, we are going to want to activate the Graveyard effect of Engraver. We can put back the Fabled Lurry here in order to special summon itself. And we're not going to make a rank 6 just yet. We actually want to link these into Fiendsmith Sequence. We'll activate the Sequence effect in order to fusion summon, putting back, or we're going to fusion summon Lacrima, putting back Requiem as well as one of the 2 Engravers. Alright, Lacrima effect will activate. We target the Engraver, and then special summon it to our field in defense mode. Or I guess whatever mode you want. Because we're about to overlay the Engraver and the Lacrima into Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal. And here is our big pivot into the Snake Eye engine, as we are going to detach one of our materials from Beatrice in order to send Snake Eye Ash from our deck to the graveyard. Now we can link summon Promethean Princess using Fiendsmith Sequence and Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal, in order to summon out the Promethean Princess. And yeah, we'll activate to burn. Why not? We'll put back... I guess for playing other tracks, I mean, there's an argument for either or here. I'll put back the sequence. Well, the Engraver could summon itself on the next turn. So actually, yeah, you definitely put back sequence there. Alright, so now we're going to activate the Promethean Princess effect. We'll summon that Snake Eye Ash that we just dumped off the Beatrice. Naturally, Snake Eye Ash gets to activate its effect. We'll add the Poplar from deck to hand here. Poplar's effect will activate, gets to special summon itself. And we'll activate here, going for the Temple, the Divine Temple of the Snake Eye, which we will then activate, placing the Snake Eyes Diabellstar from our deck into the Spell Trap Zone. Alright, now at this stage, I think what I'm gonna do is... there's a couple of different orders you could do this in, but I'm gonna start by activating the Snake Eye Ash effect, sending itself and the Diabellstar in order to special summon Oak. Now, Oak effect will activate to target the Ash. Summon that back to the field. We'll link off these two being the Poplar and the Promethean Princess, in order to summon our Raging Phoenix, which will not only get us out of being fire locked, but also Poplar's effect will place the Snake Eyes Diabellstar from our graveyard into the Spell Trap Zone yet again. We're going to activate Snake Eyes Diabellstar, putting Poplar into the Spell Trap Zone, and special summoning. This will give us the chance to use Oak's effect, sending itself in the Spell Trap Zone Poplar, in order to summon Flamberge. Alright, now from here, we can link summon into our IP Masquerena. Let's do that using Snake Eyes Diabellstar and Snake Eye Ash. So, this is the combo line with just Engraver by itself, and this also kind of assumes you don't have any monsters in hand. Now, if you have another monster in hand, like a hand trap to normal summon, here I'd probably just keep the Maxi in hand because it's, you know, pretty good. But if you had Thualos, you could, in theory, normal summon it, then link it with IP into SP, and then Flamberge F to place the IP into the Spell Trap Zone. This is what I like to call the safe Engraver line. So I mentioned earlier that I was looking at some combo lines from Kishin. Kishin shows off a line where you end on a 4-material Appaloosa and IP Masquerena, as well as Temple with Flamberge in the Spell Trap Zone. Now, that ending is a lot more, you know, you've got the format Appo straight up, right? So it's a lot more negates up front. However, I also think that that board is a little bit too susceptible to board breakers. With this one, right, you could go IP, link off your entire board into a 3-mat Appo that can't be destroyed by card effects, and then Flamberge Dragon will activate. So, again, I think it comes down to the safe line versus the risky line. And there are definitely pros and cons to each, like I was alluding to before. Again, if you want to see Kishin's line, check out their video linked in the description below. But why don't we take a look at our next combo here. Okay, so these last two lines, using Snake Eye Ash and Poplar as your starters, actually come from, again, Kishin is the direct inspiration for these lines. So once again, link to that video is going to be in the description below. So for this line, it starts with Snake Eye Ash, or Bonfire for Ash, or 1-for-1, or as I'll demonstrate here, you can even open a hand trap, normal summon it, and send it for original Sinful Spoils, and this combo line will still work. So you could pretend we just straight up open Snake Eye Ash and normal summon it here, right? Now from there, we're going to activate our Snake Eye Ash effect in order to add the Poplar from deck to hand. Of course, Poplar can special summon itself using its effect. And we're going to activate the Poplar in order to add Temple. And even if you opened and then normal summoned Ash, you would add Temple off Poplar here anyway. You don't get original Sinful Spoils. That's why that works. We'll activate Divine Temple, placing our Snake Eyes Diabellstar face up. We can then activate the Snake Eye Ash effect, sending it off with the Diabellstar in the spell trap zone in order to special summon Oak from deck. Oak effect will activate in order to bring back the Ash. And then we can link off our Poplar into Link Creebo. Alright, Poplar's effect activates. We're going to put Diabellstar from the graveyard back into the spell trap zone. And at this point, we're going to go into our Moon of the Closed Heaven using Ash and Link Creebo. Summon Requiem using Moon of the Closed Heaven as a material. Then we'll activate the Requiem effect in order to summon the Fiendsmith Engraver from our deck. Now, here's another fun little interaction between the Fiendsmith and Snake Eye cards. You can actually activate Requiem's graveyard effect in order to equip it to the Engraver. And now when we activate Snake Eye Oak, we can send the equipped Requiem as our, cost for the effect. So that's pretty cool. Summoning out the Flamberge Dragon from our deck. Alright, from here we're going to want to link these two into Fiendsmith's sequence. And Flamberge effect will activate to bring back a couple of our Snake Eyes cards. Alright, let's activate Sequence effect. And we can special summon Fiendsmith's Lacrima, putting back Moon of the Closed Heaven and Fiendsmith's Requiem. Now, much like our first two combo lines, when we activate Lacrima's effect here, we are going to target the Engraver, but we are not going to special summon it. We're going to click no and then add it to our hand. That way we can activate the in-hand effect of Engraver, discarding it in order to add Fiendsmith's Tract. We can activate our Tract effect, adding, and then discarding, of course, the Fabled Lure. Fabled Lure will then special summon itself. And now we're going to want to link our Fabled Lure and one of our revived Snake Eyes monsters into IP Masquerena. So from here we can go and activate our Fiendsmith Engraver graveyard effect, shuffling back the Lure in order to special summon in defense mode. And now we're going to activate something you don't do like super duper often, but we are going to do it here. We're going to activate Fiendsmith's Tract graveyard effect. And we are going to fusion summon Fiendsmith Desiree using the Lacrima, Engraver, and Sequence that are on our field. We can do a little bit of burn damage, just don't put back the Sequence here. In fact, you might want to just not activate that and like keep the Engraver in your graveyard for follow-up plays, but we need to keep Sequence in the graveyard so that way we can equip it to Fiendsmith's Desiree. That's going to be very important here in just a second. Now I can link IP Masquerena and my remaining Snake Eyes monster into the Promethean Princess. Alright, Promethean Princess effect will activate, bringing back the Flamberge Dragon. We can activate our Snake Eyes Diabellstar. We can take Oak, that's fine. Any one of them, really. Put them in the spell trap, and then summon. Now, from here, you might think, oh, and then we go into Raging Phoenix and then pass. Well, we can actually do a little bit better than that. We're going to activate Fiendsmith's Desiree, and we can negate up to 2 cards on the field. We're going to negate our own Promethean Princess, which means now, as you can see, we can go into a 2-material Appaloosa. And there we have it. So this line also doesn't use any Azamina cards. So if you're just playing Fiendsmith Snake Eye without Azamina, for some reason, then you could still do this play. But yeah, so for Snake Eye Ash by itself, ending on 2-material Appaloosa, the Desiree will be able to negate any card your opponent has face up on the field. Oh, and of course we are going to activate Flamberge and place the IP in our spell trap, our graveyard in the spell trap zone. Almost forgot to do that, but that of course being the classic Snake Eyes disruption. So there you go. There's the line for Snake Eyes Ash. Let's see the last one for Poplar. And for this final combo, of course you would never do this, just activating Bonfire to add Poplar and then just normal summoning it, but yeah, we're just gonna normal summon the Poplar here. So I'll just add it to hand with Bonfire that way. But again, you would normally add Ash if you actually open Bonfire, but here's what to do if you open exactly Poplar. You can normal summon Poplar and activate the effect. And we're going to add the original Sinful Spoils Snake Eye from deck to hand. Can then link our Poplar into the Linkuriboh. And of course we'll activate Poplar's effect to put itself into the spell trap zone. Alright, original Sinful Spoils, we're going to use that to send the Poplar. And you're going to want to summon Oak here, because again, we already used our normal summon. Oak effect, bringing back the Poplar, special summon to the field, yes. Alright, let's pivot into the Fiendsmith side. Using Poplar and Linkuriboh, we can make Moon of the Closed Heaven. And, of course, we're going to link off Moon of the Closed Heaven for Fiendsmith's Requiem. Definitely want to keep your Oak around, because we still need that to summon Flamberge. We can activate the Requiem effect to summon Engraver. Once again, we're going to use that little trick we did in the last combo line, where we, let's put this to auto, where we activate the Graveyard effect of Requiem, equipping it to Engraver. And then we can activate Oak to send the equipped Requiem in order to summon the Flamberge. Alright, from here we are going to link summon Fiendsmith Sequence using Flamberge and Engraver. This let us activate the Flamberge effect, of course, bringing back Poplar and Oak. We're going to activate Fiendsmith Sequence, and this time, we're just going to fusion summon the Desiree using all three of the monsters that are in our graveyard. Alright, now let's link summon Appaloosa using our two Snake Eyes monsters plus Sequence. And naturally, we're going to want to activate the Sequence effect to equip to the Desiree, so that way it's got its negates. And that's it. That is the Poplar line. Once again, that is directly sourced from Kishin. But it's a lot simpler. It's a lot less, robust. But it is still multiple negates on each card for opening Poplar and nothing else, which is definitely not that bad. So, there we have it. Those are, I think, all of the most important need-to-know Azamina, Fiendsmith, Snake Eye combos. If you got all of those down, you can play out any of the starters by themselves, and you also have the sort of knowledge or reference of what lines look like, so you can play out cards that open multiple starters as well. Hopefully you found this video useful. Again, a huge thank you to Kishin for providing an excellent reference. Again, like I said at the beginning, I watched a lot of different videos and read a lot of different walkthroughs in order to put together the information for this video that I made, and Kishin's video among all those proved to be the most useful. So once again, a huge shout out. Check that video out, linked in the description below. But that's going to do it for this time. Why don't we move on now to our outro. Hey everybody, Hexlex here. Just want to give you a huge thanks for watching all the way to the very end of the video. Believe it or not, that is actually one of the best ways that you can support the channel, is by watching the videos in their entirety. But there are many ways in which you can support the channel if you are so interested. The names that you're seeing on screen here, I gotta give an extra special thanks to, because these are people who have chosen to either become a member on YouTube, which if you're interested you can do as well via the join button next to the subscribe button down down there, or have signed up over on Patreon and become members there. Link to that is going to be in the description below. Without the support that is being offered by, again, all the people that you're seeing on screen right here, I would not be able to take the time to dedicate to uploading daily YouTube videos. So thank you so very much. But there are also other ways you can support as well. Again, link to the description below. If you like my deck tracker that you'll see in a lot of my videos, the Untapped Companion, you can download that for free. And if you use my affiliate link down there, then that also goes a long way towards supporting the channel. That's, again, free. So is subscribing here on YouTube. That's also free and a huge way to support. You can also check out Twitch, once again linked in the description below. Following and subscribing over there will not only support as well, but also give you notifications of when I go live if you want to catch some of the live streams. But really, no matter how you choose to support, it all adds up and it all definitely means the world. So thank you, each and every one of you. For now, this is Hexlex. I'm going to be signing out, but more than that, I'm hoping that you have a fantastic day.